Alright everyone, welcome back to another Batman review, and this time we've got issue 87. And yeah, can I just say I love the cover for this one. The artwork looks gorgeous. So the book opens up with this conversation between the Penguin and a really weird looking version of the Riddler. But yeah, they're basically talking about their plans and stuff, what they're going to be doing going forward. You get to see the Penguin fighting some guys, and he's completely slaughters this whole room full of gangsters and whatever else. And I love the page, sort of the title page, where it's just him standing there with his penguins, of course, and like the rest of the room's just completely massacred. It's a perfect depiction of the Penguin, in my opinion, and I love the way he's shown here. It's the classic Penguin, and none of this, New 52 reinvention, modernist crap. And he looks terrifying as well. Like, he genuinely looks terrifying. And I love how he has like his whole arsenal of weaponry and stuff. Half of the guns that he has are disguised like umbrellas. That's just brilliant. The Riddler, on the other hand, looks a bit weird. Like I says, it mentions in the book at one point that there's a reason why he's like this. It's to do with Year of the Villain, which is something I've not really bothered with. And I'm not going to read that book, the Riddler Year of the Villain book, because I don't want to have to buy extra stuff just to understand what the characters are like in this. I consider that DLC, so I'm just going to accept he's like this now. And so yeah, then it cuts back to the main story, continuing on from last issue, which I really enjoyed. We see all the assassins that were sent out after Batman, and after he took them all down, GCPD are there, and they're ready to take them all away. And it's quite interesting. We get this conversation between Batman and Catwoman. So this is right after he's defeated Bane and whatever else, or soon after. And he's talking with Selina. They're still trying to find these plans and stuff. And I must admit, the conversation they have here is definitely a big step up from the type of crap that we were having to put up with in the Tom King run. It's a lot more. It feels a lot more natural the way they're talking to each other, and it's a lot less lovey-dovey and whatever else. And Batman feels like Batman again, and Catwoman genuinely feels like Catwoman. It's nice to see, and also that the artwork's gorgeous. Some lovely shots of Catwoman, of course. And then it cuts to one of my favourite parts. In fact, there's two big highlights of this book. Two big sort of scenes or set pieces that I really want to talk about. The first one is this scene here with Batman talking with Harvey Bullock, who's now the commissioner of GCPD. So he's sort of taken on Commissioner Gordon's role. Sort of similar to how Lucius Fox has taken over from Alfred's role. We now see Harvey Bullock interacting with Batman in the same way Commissioner Gordon would have. And if any of you have ever watched the animated series or whatever, or anything with Harvey Bullock in it, you'll know that unlike Gordon, he's not really a fan of Batman. He doesn't really care for him. He doesn't outright hate the guy, but he has a bit of resentment against him. And this scene was beautiful because it's great to see them having to like begrudgingly work together, because you can tell they don't like each other. And yeah, Harvey's just slagging him the entire time. And I love when Batman just disappears, he's like, fuck's sake, of course he's gone. It's a great depiction, so it is. And then we get to see this new prison complex that Batman had talked about before. That Bruce Wayne had basically funded this new prison complex called the Black Block. It's supposed to be like this super high security prison for like the worst of the worst of Batman's rogues gallery, like the absolute evil, insane, crazy, powerful people get locked up here, which is a bit worrying because I don't get why Bruce Wayne would want all of these people in one place. I think that's going to come back to harm him later on. Might be foreshadowing, or maybe I'm just looking into it too much. But anyway, we cut to it. We get to see Deathstroke and some of the other assassins. The assassin Cheshire, I believe her name is there. And Batman, he has a little conversation with Deathstroke, and he's talking with him. And even he seems that I talked about this in the last issue, how I enjoyed seeing Batman fight Deathstroke and actually winning, but I felt like it was a bit too easy. Like maybe Deathstroke let Batman win, maybe he wanted to be put in this prison, maybe he's got ulterior motives, maybe it's part of his plan. Don't know, just throwing that out there. But it seemed like that fight between them in the last issue was a little bit too quick, a little bit too easy for Batman. So, has a conversation with Deathstroke, and he basically tells him that, you think you know everything, but you don't really, there's so much going on that you don't even understand, Some great dialogue. And then he turns round, and he notices that there's something wrong with Cheshire. He walks up to her, and even asks to open up her cell, which would be extremely dangerous, but he demands it be done. opens up, and then he walks up and then touches her face and realises that she's actually like a clay mannequin, and she's not actually there. So that was a great big plot twist. I thought it was pretty cool. And then it cuts to what is, in my opinion, the other big highlight of this book was the big action set piece between Batman and Cheshire. He flies away, and then he gets in his Batjet again, and he's tracking her down, and then he comes out. He has this sort of bat go-kart thing built into the Batjet that sort of comes out. I don't know if he had a name for it. Probably written down somewhere. If there was, I'll put it up on the screen here. He was in this sort of go-kart thing. He shoots out of the Batjet and he chases her in this. And she's on a motorcycle, by the way. And he's chasing her. It's a great action set piece. And he gets close to her, and she's taunting him and whatever else, and then she leaps towards him, and she has her nails, in her nails she has poison. She bites her nails or sinks her nails into his mask, and he reacts, you know, as if, God, he's fucked now. Turns out he was faking though, and then what happens is she ends up crashing into a fucking truck which was coming right at them. And I must admit, this was a great action set piece, but this scene here of her getting hit by the truck, I'm just gonna be honest, I think she would be dead. Like, she would be dead if that happened in real life. Like, there's no getting away from that. She does actually survive though, and yeah, Batman explains to her that he had his mask, was all protected and stuff. Isn't too surprising. There is a great quote though at one point where Cheshire says she describes it as bat nail polish remover, which I thought was funny. I thought that was like a little reference to the Adam West Batman show. You know, like the shark repellent bat tights or whatever he wore at that episode where the shark was stinging him. Yeah, I thought that was like a nice wee tongue-in-cheek reference to that. So there was a power outage at the Black Block, and Deathstroke manages to escape along with some others that were there with him. I don't know if it was, I think it was the other assassins, or was it some other? Yeah, I think all the other assassins escape, and you know, we're thinking, God, how did this happen? You know, there's probably some other parties involved. And then the very last page, and I love this, cuts back to Penguin, and he's watching the whole thing on his monitor. So that really tells me that it was bookended brilliantly, you know, opening up with him, and then at the end, you know, at the start he's talking about Riddler, and then at the end he's like watching all this happen with Deathstroke and stuff. And the whole idea was that the Batman chasing after Cheshire was just a distraction, which I thought was great. This whole scene at the end sort of tells me that maybe Penguin is involved, like that Penguin is involved in this to some degree. So he's probably not the one behind it all, you know, the one masterminding it. Maybe to a degree, but maybe I do think there's some other parties involved, some other players in the game, if you will, that will be revealed at a later date. But the Penguin's definitely involved, which I'm very excited about to see what they do with him going forward. So yeah, overall I must say that I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was a good follow-up to the last one. I'm really enjoying what Tynion's doing so far, and I'm going to continue reading. Any Batman fans here, just let me know what you think of the first two issues of this new run, and tell me what you're excited for going forward. Tell me what you think Penguin's plan is, or what's going to happen with Batman or Deathstroke or whatever going forward. And just tell me that in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And yeah, if you enjoy this content, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys all later.